I first heard about Milton Erickson when John Hartland was visiting Adelaide, and as a president of the International Hypnosis Society and the author of a book on hypnosis, he spoke with some authority. And he spoke about his visit with Erickson, where he was watching television with him one night at his house, Erickson's house, and Hartland found himself coming out of hypnosis and was intrigued to discover that he didn't know exactly how and what had prompted him to go into hypnosis. So this was intriguing. This was in the early 70s. I saw a film, Herb Lustig's film, The Artistry of Milton H. Erickson, at an international congress in Philadelphia. That was in 1976. And what I saw there was just totally intriguing to me. The way that Erickson was so very attentive and so very interested in the clients that he was working with, and treated them like human beings, like people, rather than cases or patients or clients. So then I was, as I say, intrigued by this and wanted to learn more. So I rang him. I rang his phone number in Phoenix. I was living in Melbourne at the time, expecting to get some secretary or some person to leave a message or what. Anyhow, I rang and Erickson picked up the phone. I was shocked to be speaking to him so easily and so directly. And I told him that I was interested to learn with him, and he just said, well, come on over. So the next year I was over in Phoenix and spent 2 weeks with him. The very first day I was there was a psychologist, Lee Poulos, down from Canada, a delightful, friendly, helpful man. And Erickson asked me what I wanted to learn, and I said that what I'd learned about hypnosis for pain management didn't really make sense to me, and so I was interested to find out about something about how hypnosis could be helpful there. He just nodded and said to Lee, asked him, would he mind showing Robert what happened yesterday? This was on a Monday, and Lee had been there with Erickson on the Sunday. I thought, that's a bit weird. Anyhow, they know about hard working, these people. And Lee said he'd be glad to show me. And so I was sitting there watching Lee, and Lee said, oh, I was sitting in this same chair, listening to what you were saying, and I looked over to see Lee settling into a very nice hypnotic experience. And it was very perplexing to me. What was happening? Erickson hadn't given him suggestions, hadn't given him any instructions, hadn't counted downstairs or done anything. And here was Lee going into an experience which was very obviously hypnotic. But on reflection, what did he do? He asked Lee to show me what had happened. And of course, in the process of showing me, in the process of recalling, he couldn't help but re-experience what had happened the previous day. So then I was sitting on a stool, three-legged stool, leaning forward, listening to this man with a strong southern accent who had no teeth because of his polio, and his tongue wasn't working properly. It was really very hard to understand what he was saying with any clarity. And I was leaning forward, my elbows digging into my knees, and eventually when I went into hypnosis, I had a feeling that at any moment I could fall flat on my face, fall out of the stool, and my head got heavier like a lead cannonball, and my elbows were digging into my knees. And Erickson told stories about, I don't know what, this, that, and a number of things. After 3.5 hours in that position with my head dragging on my neck, my elbows digging into my knees and feeling that I could fall flat on my face, I'd learned a lot about hypnosis and its relevance for pain management. At the end of that time, those hours, I said to Erickson, well, I'm not quite sure what that was all about. And he gave the short version. He said, what we experience depends on how we direct our attention. And I've often reflected on those words and thought what a beautiful summary he used and invited us to explore.